We're gonna interrupt the track car build because we're gonna do something that I've been trying to do to my car for the longest time, and I saw it on the internet and I wanted to do it, and I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but I used to have a heat shield right here, and during the track day it kind of wiggled itself out of the way and fell out. But you need to have something covering the cone filter because this is just a hot air intake, and you know, I get made fun of a lot at meets, and my uncle, the Audi mechanic, looks at me in shame, and he doesn't know why I exist because I don't have a heat shield the way that it's supposed to. So I don't want to put the stock box back on there, even though that's what's recommended, because that's a better heat shield than, you know, just having a cover where the heat could go over the cover. So I'm gonna do something that I saw someone else do online, and oh my god, dude, I fell in love with it, and I've been wanting to try it for such a long time. But I'm going to do, I don't know if you call it a cold air intake, but a shroud, a cone shroud is what it's gonna be, and it's gonna consist of, boom, a Heineken Mini Keg. You heard it here. Corny, probably, super corny, but dope to me. Oh my god, super dope. So the plan, probably cut a hole through the bottom. The way that I saw other people do it was that they either cut it in half and made like an opening hinge where they could fit everything inside, or the second one that I saw was someone cut a hole in the bottom and tucked everything on the inside and connected the plugs. The way that I'm looking at it right now, I don't have a lot of space like everybody else had space, because I saw this on some, I think it was a Mark IV and then a Mark II that did it, but I don't have as much space as they did. So I'm probably gonna have to cut a hole in here and take the MAF off and fit the MAF and the cone in here. That's plan A. Plan B is to try to get the MAF to be sticking out this side, because it would be real simple just to cut a hole and put two separate holes so the MAF could just, you know, drill in and sit outside. That'd be ideal, but because of space constraints, probably wouldn't be able to get away with that. But I'll keep you guys abridged to how I go about it, and then who knows, man, maybe you guys want to try the same thing or do the same thing. Let's get started. Alright, so I took my junkyard MAF off, and I'm looking at the space, and there is no space in here to put the MAF on the outside of the keg. So it's looking more and more like I'm gonna have to put the MAF and the cone filter, the whole thing, inside of the keg because of the space restrictions. I don't even need all this. Like, I have a tune that deleted all the secondary air, all the EGR stuff. I don't know if it's laziness or fear of why I haven't deleted all these lines, because I should have done it a long time ago. I don't need them anymore. I don't need this. There's nothing going to this. I mean, it goes to the secondary air, but what's the point? I don't need any of these lines. I don't need any of this stuff. Maybe one day I'll get around to doing it. Maybe. More than likely when I go big turbo, which I'm gonna make a video of my budget big turbo build, and I'll show you all the pieces. I almost have all the pieces. I've been slowly buying all the pieces to that, but you guys will see what that's gonna look like very, very soon. But getting back to this, I'm gonna mock this up really quick, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it could possibly look like, and then I'll probably get to cutting, show you guys where I started to cut and how I'm gonna put it in there. Also, that's not gonna be Heineken eventually. I'm Dominican, so there's a preferred Dominican beer that we drink, and if you're Dominican, you know what I'm talking about. Right, so took a marker, I drew a circle on the bottom of the keg, matching the diameter of this. I just used this to draw the circle. I drew it a tad bit off center because if I'm gonna put the whole MAF and the cone on the inside of this, it's not gonna be enough space for the plug for the MAF. So I'm probably gonna shave this a little bit maybe, or I'm probably gonna have to make an open connector side. So I'll probably have to cut into one of these sides right here and put some rubber, something rubber in there to cover it up. So the plan so far, which I think is gonna work just fine, I'm cutting a hole in the bottom. So I'm gonna start off by drilling points all around the circle so it could be as circular as possible. From there, I'm going to cut this whole rim all the way around, the whole thing. So this is gonna be like a hat, and it'll come off and it'll come on. And then I'll probably attach some self-tapping screws or just like a, I don't know, I'll find something. Like the old luggage buckles or something. I'll probably do that because that would look dope as well. But it will sit on top. It'll buckle in. This is a little bit wider than this inside, so if I cut this just right and probably fold this bottom piece in a little bit, it'll just whoop, it'll sit right in there just perfect. Plus it'll give me, if I cut this and then I sit it in there, it'll give me that much more space so that I could put it in there. So I think that's the best way to go about this. And then for probably the people that are asking, well, you're not gonna have, you know, space or any fresh air. There's I have some ducting hidden right there, and that more than likely is going to go up top here, and then that hose is gonna either go up in that direction or out back this way or down that way for fresh air. That's the plan. So it'll be as cold intake as possible, or as cold of an enclosure as I could possibly make it. I'm also gonna put I don't know if it's sound deadening, probably not sound deadening, but I want to put a material in here that will keep this cold, or that's at least heat resistant. Probably not gonna be cold, but probably heat resistant. So I'm gonna find some kind of heat resistant material. I'm gonna line the inside of the barrel in the material and mount it all up. And then I might have to make a mount to keep it from not moving around in the engine bay, but we'll get there when we get there. For now, I'm gonna start cutting. Every time I cut something, I'm gonna cut back to you guys so you can see how I've cut it. And if I mess up, I mean, I'll just buy another one of these things. This is like 20 bucks. It was beer for me and my dad and my uncle for like 2 or 3 days, you know. Plus you get a little thing that you could do some arts and crafts with your car. All right, I'll cut back to you guys when I'm done cutting. All right, first hole made. One down, maybe 20 to go. Who knows how many holes I gotta drill into this thing until I can get where it's like a clean cut. But I will keep you abreast of the situation. All right, I'm getting all the power tools out because we're gonna start getting a little bit more complicated. All the holes are drilled for the bottom part. Now I'm gonna try to cut just straight lines all the way around and try to get a nice little circle going on this thing. So that is step number 2. All right, I used my uncle's or my father's trusty dusty Dremel tools, and I got my bottom radius cut out. There's a little, I guess, the bladder for the beer. So I gotta start taking all that stuff out of there. The hole is not that clean, but I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more with another bit for the Dremel tool. I'm not trying to make that much noise as it is kind of getting kind of late, but I'm probably gonna cut or clean this hole out, and then from there I'll call it a day. I'm looking for the circular saw, and we got it, you know, so I could cut this outside rim like I said I was gonna do, but the blades for the circular saw are missing, so probably gonna end my night. But I'm not gonna do like a part 1 or a part 2. I'm gonna do this one whole video. I'm gonna gut this, clean this out real quick, and then I'll keep updating you guys as I go on. Circle is a little bit cleaner. I just try to test fit it, and it kind of goes in, but if I radius the circle just a hair more, it'll probably fit a lot better. So I'm just gonna make some little adjustment on the circle, and then I'm gonna seat it in there. Alright, couldn't find the circular saw bits, so I taped the area where I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna try to hit this bottom line right here. That's my area, and I'm just gonna hit that all the way around. Circle's a little bit cleaner. The math sits in there just fine now, without any trouble. I promise, guys, it was just in here a second ago. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but so fits in there. This course is just for this. It's gonna be in reverse. So this whole side is gonna be on the inside, and then yeah, it's kind of what I wanted. For the sensor, I'm gonna have to clock it the right direction that it's gonna be clocked, and I'm gonna have to cut like a channel for it to go into. So when this is in its final position, you know, flipped upside down, there's gonna be a channel with like a rubber rim where this is supposed to go into. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for that. But so good so far. All right, we cut the top hat off. It is a tad crooked, but it doesn't matter. It looks cool anyways. So this will slot inside of there just fine. I'm gonna clean up this edge, so that's gonna be a nice clean edge, even all the way around, and I'm going to bend that in. I already started bending it in a little bit, and I'll keep you guys updated again. I'll probably cut back in when this is all bent in, so you guys can see my progress. All right, here we go again. Here it is with the top hat cut off and then put back on.
The obstacle is the way, Dan.
And then there it is with the whole thing coming out. This edge right here needs to be cleaned up a bit because it's super uneven. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. And you know, this edge has been pushed in a little bit. I have a sticker that's going to go around this whole thing that I'm going to wrap it with. So it's a little ugly right now, but it'll be good when it's done. I'm gonna test fit the cone, and I'm gonna try to test fit the whole thing so we could all see what it looks like when it's all put together and in its position. All right, here is the cone filter with the math inside of the little mini keg. I'm holding onto it by the bottom so it doesn't slide out. I am gonna have to cut a hole for the plug itself, but actually it fit in there. I thought the math wasn't gonna fit in there, but it did. So the whole math is in there with the cone filter. Pretty dope. And then the hat is right there. Hold on, let me see if I can put the hat in with one hand. 1 second. I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna put you down, bud.
We thought people could use a break. We've all been through a lot this
Nope, can't do it. Okay, so I'll cut back. There's still some stuff I gotta trim off of that for it to fit on here right, but I'll cut back so you guys can see it. Alright, so it's dark, but here is a rough of what it's gonna look like. Now that the top hat is slotted in a little bit more, I have a little bit more space to work with, and the math is inside. I just need to cut a hole for the plug, and it's getting closer and closer to being complete. I also need to figure out the material I'm going to run inside that's going to be heat resistant. I'll figure that out when the time comes, but just so you guys can see a rough of what I'm doing and what I plan to do. I'm trying to make it so everything is parallel, So it's just a bunch of parallel lines going down. So it's going to be a little parallel. But yeah. Okay, so you just watched the first part of the video for the mini keg. I was going to upload the whole video, but it's 42 minutes long. You know, the whole process of me creating it, you seeing all my mistakes, because I make a lot of mistakes. So instead of that, instead of sitting down for 42 minutes, I'm going to cut this up into 3 parts. You just watch the first part. I'm going to upload all the videos right now, because we're going to do this like a Netflix special, but it's going to be in 3 parts. Having a 42-minute video, way too long. 3 parts just sounds a lot better. So, click like and subscribe if you like part 1. Part 2 is going to be uploaded right after part 1, and then part 3 is going to be uploaded after part 2. Simple.